Friday night in downtown Chicago. The city was alive, bright neon lights reflecting on wet streets, jazz music floating out from cozy bars, and laughter echoing everywhere. Among the crowd of energetic young professionals celebrating the end of the week, one man sat quietly at the corner of a busy bar. Ethan Carter. A man in his early 30s, short brown hair slightly messy from the day, wearing a casual shirt, with tired eyes that hinted at long nights and bigger responsibilities. He wasn't here for the party. He wasn't here to impress anyone. He was here because his best friend insisted. For just a few hours, he allowed himself to step outside the constant rhythm of being a single father. Ethan sipped his soda slowly, scanning the crowd without really seeing it. Most nights, his life revolved around bedtime stories, packing lunches, and making sure his daughter, Lily, felt safe, loved, and happy. That's when she appeared. Sophia Blake. A woman in her late 20s, effortlessly beautiful, confident, and playful. She didn't just walk into the room, she owned it. The kind of woman who smiled at the world and the world smiled back. She approached the bar and leaned casually beside Ethan, her jacket catching the soft golden light. "You look way too serious for a Friday night," she said, a teasing smile playing on her lips. "Just enjoying the quiet," Ethan replied softly, without taking his eyes off the bar. Sophia's eyes caught something in his wallet that peeked out from the edge of his pocket. "You have a kid?" she asked. Ethan pulled out a small wallet, revealing a photo of a little girl with bright eyes and a wide smile. "My daughter. Lily," he said, his voice calm but proud. Sophia smirked. "A single dad, huh? I've heard about you guys. Sweet, but I don't know. They say single dads can't really please a woman." Ethan didn't flinch. He didn't get defensive. He looked at her calmly, green eyes steady. "Maybe the problem isn't single dads, maybe it's women who've never met a real man." Sophia blinked, surprised. For the first time in years, someone had answered her teasing without ego, without anger, with quiet confidence. "You're bold," she said, leaning slightly closer. "Life's too short to waste on ego," Ethan replied. "Sometimes, confidence isn't about shouting the loudest, it's about showing up when it matters." Sophia raised her eyebrows. "And when does it matter?" Ethan glanced at Lily's photo again. "When your priorities aren't about impressing the world, but about the ones who matter most." Sophia's playful smirk softened. She realized she was watching more than a man at a bar. She was watching a father, a man who loved deeply, who had faced loss and responsibility head-on, and who had learned the meaning of patience. "And what's your name?" Ethan asked gently. "Sophia," she said, smiling softly. "And you are?" "Ethan," he replied. Little did either of them know, this simple exchange would mark the beginning of something neither had expected. A spark, not loud or fiery, but quiet, steady, and impossible to ignore. Over the next few minutes, their conversation flowed naturally. They laughed, teased, and shared small stories of their lives. Sophia found herself leaning in, captivated not just by his words, but by the calm strength behind them. By the time Ethan excused himself to step outside for a call from Lily's school, Sophia realized she wanted to know more. This man, this single dad, wasn't like the others. He was patient, grounded, and completely genuine. Before you move to Chapter 2, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe for daily new videos, and comment below telling us which country you're watching from. Every comment and like helps support these stories and keeps them coming for you every single day. As Ethan stepped back inside, he caught Sophia looking at him with curiosity and something else, something she didn't quite understand yet. She had been playful, teasing, confident, but now there was a softness in her gaze. Ethan smiled slightly. She wasn't expecting him to change the dynamic with a calm reply. And he wasn't expecting how intrigued she would be. In that moment, the bar seemed quieter. The music softer. The lights warmer. It wasn't just a meeting of two people, it was the beginning of a connection neither of them could ignore. And somewhere deep inside, Ethan wondered, could a chance encounter like this really change everything? Sophia, too, wondered if her usual teasing and playful confidence could withstand someone like him, a man who didn't just talk, but showed integrity, responsibility, and care in every little detail of his life. The first spark had been lit. And it would only grow. Monday morning in Chicago, and the city was already buzzing. Cars honked, people hurried along the sidewalks, and the scent of fresh coffee drifted from every cafe. Most people were racing against time, but Ethan Carter wasn't most people. His morning began with the familiar sounds of his small apartment, Lily's laughter, the clatter of cereal bowls, and the soft hum of his old coffee machine. His daughter, 6-year-old Lily, bounced around the kitchen, full of energy and curiosity. "Daddy, can we go to the park after school?" she asked, tugging at his sleeve. "We'll see, pumpkin," Ethan said, smiling as he poured syrup onto her pancakes. Every movement he made was intentional, cutting her pancakes into small pieces, wiping stray syrup from her cheeks, and making sure she felt cared for. For him, mornings weren't about rushing. They were about showing Lily that she mattered most. Breakfast ended, and Lily grabbed her backpack. Ethan adjusted her jacket, tucking her hair behind her ear. That's when Sophia appeared again. Sophia Blake, confident, stylish, and impossibly radiant. She leaned casually against the doorway, coffee in hand, her curious smile lighting up the room. "Well, if it isn't the mysterious single dad," she teased. "Morning, Sophia," Ethan replied, a small smile on his lips. Lily's eyes widened. "Are you Daddy's friend?" "Maybe," Sophia said softly, kneeling slightly to meet Lily's gaze. "My daddy is the best," Lily said proudly. "He makes pancakes and reads me stories every night." Sophia smiled, genuinely touched. "I believe you." Ethan chuckled, slightly embarrassed. "She's honest like that," he said, ruffling Lily's hair. They walked to school together. Sophia matched their pace, chatting about the neighborhood, the morning chill, and the city's quiet charm. Most men their age would have been on their phones, rushing to work, lost in their own world. Ethan, however, was present. Every word, every glance, every gesture was directed toward Lily, making her feel safe and cherished. "Most guys our age are out partying," Sophia said, curious. "And you're raising a child alone. Doesn't it get lonely?" "Sometimes," Ethan admitted, glancing at Lily as she skipped ahead. "But she deserves a father who shows up every day. That's more important than my own comfort." Sophia studied him silently. There was a calm strength in him, something she hadn't seen in other men. Excitement and charm faded quickly, but stability, patience, and care, they lasted. And Ethan had them all. At Lily's school, Ethan knelt to adjust her backpack. Sophia crouched beside him, watching quietly. "You're really good with her," she said softly. "She's easy to love," he replied with a gentle smile. As Lily ran into the classroom, Ethan turned to Sophia. "Coffee?" he asked. She hesitated, then nodded. "Sure." They stepped into a small cafe nearby, the smell of roasted beans enveloping them. The morning light cast soft, warm shadows across the tables. They sat by a window, coffees in hand, and began talking. At first, their conversation was light, coffee blends, the city streets, little things. But slowly, it deepened. Sophia shared her work in marketing, her travels, and her love for art. Ethan spoke about his construction business, the challenges of single parenthood, and the moments of joy that Lily brought into his life. Sophia laughed more than she had in months. She found herself drawn to his calm, grounded nature. He didn't need to impress her with fancy words or stories. He didn't try to charm her. He was himself, simple, steady, and utterly captivating. At one point, Sophia grew serious. "Can I ask you something?" "Of course." "Why didn't you get angry when I teased you at the bar? About single dads not being able to please women?" Ethan smiled softly. "Because people tease what they don't understand. Ego rarely solves anything. Calmness, patience, that matters more." Sophia nodded slowly. "Most men I know would have snapped or tried to show off. I've learned that love isn't about proving yourself," he said. "It's about showing up, caring, and being present even when it's difficult." Sophia looked down for a moment. For years, she had sought excitement, charm, and adventure in men. But here, in the warm morning light, she realized she had been wrong. There was power in patience, in quiet strength, and in selfless love. Their conversation lingered. Sophia shared memories she had never told anyone. Ethan listened, attentive, understanding, never judgmental. It was the first time in months that Sophia felt truly seen. When they stepped outside, the sun was higher, golden light illuminating the streets. Lily waited, bouncing with excitement. "Did you have fun?" Ethan asked. "I did," Lily exclaimed. Sophia bent down. "See you later, superstar," she said, ruffling Lily's hair. "Coffee again tomorrow?" Sophia asked playfully. "Maybe," Ethan said with a small smile. As they parted, Sophia couldn't stop thinking about him. Most men she knew were flashy, charming, but fleeting. Ethan was calm, steady, and utterly real. She admired him. She wanted to know him better, not for thrill, not for fun, but to see the real man beneath the calm exterior. For Ethan, it was a simple morning: breakfast, school drop-off, coffee. But beneath the simplicity, something was shifting. A connection was forming. The spark that began at the bar was growing. It was subtle, quiet, but impossible to ignore. Before moving on to Chapter 3, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for daily news stories, and comment below letting us know which country you're watching from. Your support keeps these stories coming every day. That evening, as Ethan tucked Lily into bed, her small hands clutching her stuffed bunny, he felt a sense of completeness. Life was messy, responsibilities heavy, but there was love. Love for Lily, for the life he built, and, maybe, just maybe, for Sophia. Sophia, meanwhile, couldn't stop replaying the morning in her head. The calmness, the care, the patience. He was unlike anyone she had ever met. Slowly, she realized she didn't just like him. She admired him. She cared. And as the city lights flickered across Chicago, the lives of a single father, his little girl, and a woman ready to discover love quietly intertwined. Little did either of them know, this connection was only beginning. The spark that started at the bar was slowly becoming a flame, one that could transform all three of their lives in ways they never expected. Saturday morning in Chicago had a quiet charm. The streets were calmer than usual, the soft hum of distant traffic blending with birdsong and the faint aroma of fresh coffee from nearby cafes. Ethan Carter sat at the kitchen table, a mug of coffee in hand, watching his daughter, Lily, carefully coloring in her notebook. Lily was 6, full of energy and curiosity, and always asking questions that made Ethan smile or sometimes think harder than he wanted to. Her small hand moved steadily over the page, drawing castles and princesses with bold strokes. "Daddy, can you see my castle?" she asked, holding up the page proudly. "You did a great job, Pumpkin," Ethan said, his voice calm but full of warmth. "It's perfect." Sophia Blake appeared in the doorway, coffee in hand, her presence brightening the room. "Good morning," she said softly, her gaze lingering on the little scene before her. "Morning," Ethan replied, smiling slightly. Lily jumped up. "Sophia, you're here." "I wouldn't miss it," Sophia said, kneeling to Lily's level. "What are you working on?" "Princess castles," Lily said, her eyes shining. Sophia smiled, genuinely impressed. "I like it. Very colorful." Ethan watched them interact, noticing how natural Sophia was around Lily. Most women he had met had been unsure, hesitant, or even awkward around children. Sophia was none of that. She was calm, patient, and fully present. After a while, Lily ran off to fetch her toys, leaving Ethan and Sophia in the quiet living room. The air between them was comfortable, unforced, yet electric with curiosity and an unspoken connection. Sophia spoke first. "Can I ask you something?" "Of course." "Why did you stay so calm at the bar that night, when I teased you about being a single dad who couldn't please a woman?" Ethan took a slow sip of coffee before answering. "Because people often tease what they don't understand. Ego rarely solves anything. Responding calmly, showing who you are through actions rather than words, that matters more." Sophia nodded thoughtfully. "Most men I know would have snapped, joked back, or tried to prove themselves." Ethan smiled softly. "I've learned that love isn't about proving yourself. It's about showing up, being present, and caring every day even when it's hard or inconvenient." Sophia fell silent, absorbing his words. She realized that for years, She had sought excitement, charm, and thrill in men. But in Ethan's calm presence, she felt something entirely different, something deeper, stronger, more enduring. There was power in patience, in responsibility, in quiet strength. Ethan continued, his voice gentle but firm. Life doesn't give second chances when it comes to the people you love. That's why I show up, every day, for Lily. She deserves that, and nothing less. Sophia looked down at her coffee. For the first time, she understood that a man's strength wasn't measured by wealth, charm, or looks. It was measured by how he handled life's challenges, how he cared for those he loved, and how he remained steady when everything else felt uncertain. Later, they walked through the neighborhood park. Lily ran ahead, laughing, chasing butterflies, her tiny feet light against the grass. Ethan followed closely, hands ready to steady her if she stumbled. Sophia trailed a few steps behind, watching Ethan carefully. "You're amazing with her," she said softly, unable to hide her admiration. "She's easy to love," Ethan replied simply, his eyes on Lily as she twirled in the sunlight. Sophia shook her head. "It's not just that. It's the way you care, the way you're present, it's rare." Ethan looked at her with calm intensity. "I've had hard days. Nights when I felt like I couldn't keep going. But she makes it worth it. Everything I do is for her." Sophia's gaze softened. For years, she had been impressed by charm and excitement. But here, she saw responsibility, patience, and quiet courage. She realized she hadn't just liked him, she respected him. Deeply. As the afternoon sun began to dip, casting golden hues across the park, they sat on a bench together, watching Lily play. The sounds of the playground filled the space between them, yet there was a calm intimacy in their conversation. "You make it look easy," Sophia said quietly. Ethan shook his head. "It's not easy. Some days I feel like I'm failing. But I keep trying, because love for her makes it worth everything." Sophia reached out and lightly touched his hand. "I've never seen anyone like you," she admitted. Ethan met her gaze. "And I've never met anyone like you. Someone who sees me, really sees me." For a while, they sat in silence, letting the connection speak for itself. The teasing spark from the bar had grown into admiration and something deeper. Something neither had anticipated: respect, affection, and the first hints of love. As evening fell, Ethan walked Sophia to her car. They paused at the curb, reluctant to end the moment. "I'm glad I saw you again," Sophia said softly. "Me too," Ethan replied. Before getting into her car, she smiled, playful yet sincere. "Coffee tomorrow morning?" "I'll see you then," Ethan answered, his smile calm and confident. Sophia drove away, replaying the day in her mind. Ethan's calmness, care, and patience had left an impression. She realized that her feelings were evolving. What began as curiosity and mild amusement had grown into admiration and something more, something she wasn't ready to name but couldn't ignore. Ethan returned home, preparing dinner and tidying up. He paused for a moment, reflecting on the morning. Sophia had seen him not just the man, but the father, the provider, the person who carried quiet strength and resilience. That kind of understanding was rare. Before we move on to Chapter 4, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for daily news stories, and comment below letting us know which country you're watching from. Your support ensures these stories reach more people and keeps new content coming every day. That night, Lily fell asleep clutching her stuffed bunny, safe and happy. Ethan sat beside her bed for a few moments, thinking about the morning, the park, and Sophia. He had faced challenges, endured struggles, and experienced loss, yet moments like these reminded him why he kept going. Sophia, lying in her bed, thought about Ethan. She had expected men to disappoint her, to fall short of the charm they promised. But he had surprised her. He was patient, kind, strong, and genuine. And she realized she wanted to be part of his world, not for excitement, but for the quiet, steady love he represented. The spark that had begun at the bar was no longer a fleeting flame. It was growing steadily, quietly, into something undeniable. A connection had formed between a single father, his little girl, and a woman beginning to understand what real love could feel like. As the city lights twinkled across Chicago that night, one truth was clear: their lives had been changed forever, and the journey had only just begun. The sun had begun its slow descent over Chicago, casting warm amber light across the streets. Inside Ethan Carter's apartment, the evening was calm, a rare pocket of quiet amidst the city's constant hum. Ethan stood at the stove, flipping a pan of roasted chicken while the smell of garlic bread filled the air. Lily sat at the small table nearby, her crayons scattered across a sheet of paper as she drew castles and princesses, humming a tune she had made up. The doorbell rang. Ethan wiped his hands and opened the door. Sophia Blake stood there, coat over her arm, a warm smile lighting up her face. "Hope I'm not interrupting," she said, playful but soft. "Your perfect timing," Ethan said with a small smile. "Dinner's almost ready." Inside, Lily ran to Sophia with a cheerful squeal. "Sophia, you're here." "I wouldn't miss it," Sophia said, kneeling to Lily's level. "What are you drawing today?" "Princess castles," Lily exclaimed, holding up her paper. Sophia studied the drawing, genuinely impressed. "Wow, this is amazing. Very colorful." Ethan watched her interact with Lily. Most people were unsure around children, especially someone as energetic as Lily, but Sophia was different. She was patient, warm, and naturally engaging. Ethan felt a quiet appreciation for her presence. After Lily ran off to play with her toys, Ethan and Sophia settled in the living room with mugs of coffee. The soft ticking of the clock and the distant city hum filled the room, creating an intimate, calm space. "You're incredible with her," Sophia said softly, her eyes studying him. Ethan shrugged. "It's not easy, some days are exhausting. But she's my priority. Always." "You make it look effortless," she said, a hint of admiration in her voice. "I guess I don't try to impress anyone," Ethan replied quietly. "It's not about looking good, it's about doing what matters." Sophia's expression softened. She had spent years chasing charm, excitement, and thrill in men. But here, with Ethan, she saw something more: quiet strength, steady patience, and genuine care. Something that didn't need to be shown off, but simply existed. They talked for hours, sharing stories and memories. Sophia spoke about her childhood, small family traditions, and moments that had shaped her. Ethan shared snippets of his own life, the struggles, the lessons, and the deep love for Lily that motivated him every day. "You trust me," Ethan observed quietly. "I do," Sophia said, her voice sincere. "I feel safe with you." "That might sound strange, but I've never felt this before." Ethan's eyes softened. "It doesn't sound strange. I understand. I recognize when someone sees me, not just the surface, but everything beneath it." The air between them seemed to hum with quiet intensity. A magnetic tension had been building since the night at the bar, growing slowly over coffee mornings, playful walks, and shared moments with Lily. Each glance, each smile carried unspoken emotions neither wanted to rush, yet both felt deeply. Lily's laughter suddenly rang from her bedroom. Sophia smiled, watching her. "She's amazing. You're lucky to have her in your life." "I know," Ethan said softly. "And I'm lucky she has someone like you in hers. She trusts you, and that means a lot." The small gestures, brief touches while cleaning up, and shared laughter amplified the tension. Their hands brushed lightly over plates, lingered a second longer than usual, and neither spoke, but the air between them was charged with unspoken longing. Finally, Sophia glanced at the clock. "I should probably get going," she said reluctantly. Ethan nodded, but his gaze held hers. "Want to come by tomorrow morning? Lily and I are making pancakes." Sophia smiled, a mix of excitement and hesitation. "I'd like that." As she left, Ethan closed the door, leaning against it for a moment. The spark that began weeks ago had become undeniable, a subtle flame growing brighter. He realized Sophia wasn't just someone passing through his life. She was someone he wanted close, someone he wanted to see grow with them, slowly, patiently, naturally. The next morning, Sophia arrived with a bright smile. Lily bounced with excitement as they cooked pancakes together. Every small interaction, the flipping of a pancake, laughter over a spilled syrup drop, teasing over burnt edges, made Sophia feel more connected. She noticed the care in every gesture Ethan made, the way he prioritized Lily, the way he stayed calm no matter what happened. After breakfast, The three of them decided to take a walk to the nearby park. Lily ran ahead, chasing leaves and giggling, while Ethan and Sophia followed behind. Each step brought subtle touches, shoulders brushing, hands nearly touching. The tension was quiet, yet undeniable. At a secluded corner of the park, Ethan paused, watching Lily chase a butterfly. "Sophia, can I be honest with you?" he asked softly. "Of course," she said, curiosity in her eyes. "I haven't had many people in my life who understand the balance of love, responsibility, and parenthood. But you get it. You understand me. That matters more than I can say." Sophia's eyes softened. "I feel the same. Being with you and Lily, it feels right. Safe. Different. And I can't ignore it." For a moment, the world fell away. The teasing spark from the bar, the coffee mornings, and playful walks had transformed into something deeper, emotions that were undeniable but unspoken. Then Lily ran up, holding a wildflower. "For you," she shouted, handing it to Sophia. Sophia smiled, accepting it. "Thank you, Lily. It's beautiful." The simple act grounded the tension, reminding them of why they were here: love, care, family, and connection. Walking back, Ethan and Sophia fell into step side by side, shoulders brushing, eyes meeting occasionally. The romantic tension grew steadily, each glance and smile loaded with emotions they were only beginning to admit to themselves. That night, after Lily was asleep, they sat quietly on the couch. Words were few, yet the air was charged with meaning. "You're different," Sophia whispered. "And you're unexpected," Ethan replied softly. Neither needed to speak more. The quiet intimacy, the shared understanding, and the tension of weeks of closeness said more than words ever could. Before we move on to the final chapter, make sure to like this video, subscribe for daily news stories, and comment below which country you're watching from. Your engagement helps these stories reach more people every day. As the city lights glimmered across Chicago, Ethan reflected on the shift in his life. Sophia was no longer just a friend. She was someone he wanted to protect, to understand, to be a part of his world. Sophia lay in bed that night, replaying the day, the subtle touches, the meaningful glances, the honesty in Ethan's voice. Her feelings had evolved beyond admiration. They were now care, affection, and perhaps, love. The spark had grown into a steady flame, undeniable and impossible to ignore. A single dad, his daughter, and a woman ready to embrace love together, beginning a story that would change all their lives. Chicago's skyline shimmered as the evening settled over the city. Ethan Carter closed his office door after a long day, exhaustion tugging at his shoulders, but anticipation stirred in his chest. Tonight, he had invited Sophia over for dinner. It was time to let words catch up with the feelings that had been growing silently between them. At home, Lily buzzed with excitement, setting the table with her little hands. "Daddy. Sophia's coming," she squealed. "I know, pumpkin," Ethan said, ruffling her hair. "We'll have a nice evening together." When Sophia arrived, she carried a small bouquet of flowers, her smile soft and radiant. "Hi, Lily," she said, kneeling to embrace her. "They're beautiful," Lily said, her eyes wide with joy. Ethan watched quietly, his heart swelling. Sophia's warmth with Lily was effortless, and it reminded him that their bond was becoming more than friendship, it was family slowly forming around him. Dinner was cozy, full of laughter and conversation. They shared stories about school, favorite movies, and dreams of traveling. Beneath the casual chatter, however, something electric simmered in the air. Each glance, each smile carried the weight of emotions neither wanted to rush but couldn't ignore. After dinner, Lily ran to play in her room, leaving Ethan and Sophia alone in the kitchen. Ethan's chest tightened with a mix of nerves and courage. "Sophia, there's something I need to tell you," he said softly. Her curiosity was immediate. "What is it?" Ethan exhaled slowly. "You've seen me as a father and a man trying to do his best, but there's more to my life than what I've shown you. I've kept this private because it was complicated. I wasn't ready to share it." Sophia's gaze softened. "You can tell me anything, Ethan." He swallowed and continued. "A few years ago, I had an investment opportunity that could have changed everything. But it went wrong due to a third party, And I lost almost everything. I rebuilt my life slowly, quietly, and I never told anyone. I wanted to protect Lily, to provide for her without anyone feeling sorry for me. Sophia reached out and touched his hand. Ethan, that's incredible. You've done all this for her without complaint. I admire you more than words can say. He looked into her eyes, trusting her with his truth. I wanted to tell you sooner, but I wasn't sure. I didn't want it to change anything between us. It doesn't, Sophia whispered, her voice steady. If anything, it makes me care about you even more. Seeing your strength, your dedication, it's inspiring. Just then, Lily ran in with a drawing. Look. It's us, me, Daddy, and Sophia. Sophia smiled, kneeling to examine it. I love it. This is perfect. Ethan's chest warmed. Sophia had accepted him not just as a man, but as a father. Their connection was no longer about attraction or chemistry. It was trust, respect, and a budding love strong enough to include Lily as part of it. After putting Lily to bed, Ethan and Sophia sat in the living room, the soft glow of the city lights casting gentle shadows. I have to tell you, Ethan said quietly, I've cared about you since the day we met, and it's only grown stronger. I can't hide it anymore. Sophia's eyes glistened. I feel the same. I've tried to fight it, to pretend it was admiration, but it's more than that. I care about you and Lily deeply. A long silence followed, filled with the weight of unspoken emotions. Slowly, their hands intertwined, fingers lacing naturally. The world outside seemed to pause, leaving only the quiet warmth between them. The next morning brought unexpected news. A lawyer arrived with papers in hand. Mr. Carter, there's been a development regarding your previous investment. You are now entitled to a significant settlement. Ethan blinked in disbelief. Wait, what? The lawyer explained that the deal had been mishandled by a third party, and the settlement would restore what he had lost, and more. Sophia gasped softly. Ethan, that's amazing. Ethan felt relief and gratitude, but as he looked at Sophia and Lily, he realized something profound. Money wasn't the most important thing, it was this life, these people, and the love they shared. That evening, they celebrated quietly. Dinner was filled with laughter, shared joy, and gratitude. Lily danced around the room, holding Sophia's hand and giggling as Ethan pretended to trip. Once Lily was asleep, Ethan and Sophia sat together on the couch. Their bodies close, hearts open. You're different, Sophia whispered. And you're unexpected, Ethan replied softly. No further words were needed. The weeks of subtle touches, shared moments, and quiet conversations had built something powerful. Their love was real, steady, and enduring, a bond forged through honesty, patience, and shared life. The following days were full of warmth, morning pancakes, park walks, and small everyday joys. Each moment deepened their connection, showing them that love wasn't just about passion, it was care, trust, and mutual understanding. Ethan finally realized that everything, the teasing at the bar, the struggles of single fatherhood, the financial hardships, had led him here. To this love, this family, this new beginning. One night, as they embraced in the living room, the city lights sparkling behind them, Ethan whispered, I love you, Sophia. I love you too, Ethan, she replied, her voice steady and filled with certainty. For the first time in years, Ethan felt completely whole. He had Lily, a daughter who brought joy and purpose, and Sophia, the woman who understood, supported, and loved him fully. Together, they were a family, strong and unbreakable. The spark that had started in a teasing moment had transformed into a flame that promised laughter, security, and a shared future. It was a love that would weather any storm and grow stronger with every passing day. Before we close this story, make sure to like this video, subscribe for daily stories, and comment below telling us which country you're watching from. Your support helps keep these heartfelt stories alive and reaches viewers around the world. As Chicago's night sky twinkled with city lights, Ethan, Sophia, and Lily sat together, wrapped in warmth, trust, and the quiet joy of belonging. The journey had been long, full of struggles and surprises, but in the end, love had found them, unexpected and beautiful. For Ethan, the single dad who had once thought he couldn't balance life and love, the future was brighter than he ever imagined. And for Sophia, the woman who had teased and challenged him, it was a beginning of a love deeper and steadier than she had ever known. Together, they had discovered the extraordinary in the ordinary, the kind of love that changes everything.